Hi, my name is Tirza Diaz. I'm part of Florida International University here trying to record a video regarding harassment, and I'm going to ask my friend here, Nicole Masters with Randstad USA. Say hi. Hi, Nicole. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you a few questions about harassment.
Okay.
First, let me ask you, how long have you been in the human resources business?
I've been in human research for 6 years. I actually went to FIU.
Awesome. Okay, next I want to go ahead and ask you 6 years, and what does actually Randstad do?
Randstad is a human resources solutions company. We offer several, solutions to our companies, to our clients. We either offer recruitment and outsourcing. We actually have on-site services at large global companies like Bose, Visa, ADP, where they put their entire employees on our payroll. We cover workers' compensation, benefits administration, employee relations, you name it, and it actually helps them control their bottom line.
Excellent. Okay, and you told me earlier that you a PEO, your company performs a PEO?
Yes.
What is a PEO?
PEO, I don't know if you've heard of companies like Automatic Data Processing, Oasis Outsourcing. It's a way for companies to bring on additional headcount when, let's say, they're launching a new product or they're branching off into a merger and acquisition. They need people to get the work done now, but they don't know how sustainable that workforce is going to be. So they hire a company like us to find the people and also to handle all the HR functions.
Outsourcing. So correct. PEO functions as a human resource outsourcing part. So Randstad basically helps and performs all these tasks, outsourcing them.
Exactly.
How does your company deal with any type of harassment, including sexual?
Well, we have three types of people that work at Randstad. We have our temporary employees that are working at one of our clients but are on our payroll. So we make them go through the same exact training that us as internal employees go through. We have to watch a sexual harassment video. It's about 14 minutes long. And it covers in and out the two types of sexual harassment because people just don't even know at what point it's considered sexual harassment. After that, they have to take a 10-question multiple choice exam. They have to pass with at least a minimum of 80%, and that gives them a certification that they've been educated on the process, and that goes into their employee file, and we manage that very closely.
Okay, so basically you use two different types of training program, computer-based and also actual teacher-led.
Yes. So we have also programs like Dress for Success, where when we have employees that are maybe been warned about their dress code or maybe still don't understand but are good employees, then we'll put them through a Dress for Success training, which is where we'll have a fashion show, guest speakers, and things like that.
That actually covers one of my questions, where you actually provide some kind of prevention. So they actually go through the whole process, and then you provide them this Dress for Success program. That's great. And if there was to occur in their workplace, what would be their consequences?
Well, it depends. I mean, if the sexual harassment is peer amongst peer, there's definitely, you sit down, you have to investigate it even from the most minimal warning or sign of sexual harassment. For example, recently, I have a client, which now it's co-employment laws because they're my client, but the candidate's on my payroll. The manager makes a blonde joke, she's blonde. She's automatically assumed a sexual harassment. It might not be, but as a human resources professional, I have to investigate it as if it's, and there's no size. It's all the same.
There's no minimal.
There's no minimal.
Exactly.
You have to treat it all the same.
And it's good that you said that some people aren't aware that harassment can become in many forms, whether it's sexual, violent, and hostile environment. Do you believe that it would reduce employees' performance if they're feeling in a hostile environment or being abused and to feel the harassment?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it reduces, I think it makes the manager feel like they're walking on eggshells every day, because it could be even from a peer to a manager, or a manager to a peer, or to coworkers, or a client to an internal employee. Like, for example, we live in Miami. The culture here, I have a client that's a male. Even though I'm providing a service, it's harassment if he's like besitos or there's a difference between a professional working relationship and a personal relationship, and I think just dividing the two, as much as you want our culture to take over, is going to be key to reducing sexual harassment.
Okay, and in the hospital, how many hospitality clients do you provide services to?
Oh my God, I have several of clients that I provide. Mostly in the hospitality industry, I provide temporary staffing for a ramp up or build out of a new hotel or special events, especially being in Miami. They don't really need those people long term. Companies like the Ritz-Carlton, Fontainebleau, Soho Beach House, or even companies like Steiner Leisure or Carnival, all the cruise lines, the Hard Rock, especially the all-inclusive resorts. In that case, I place candidates in positions where they're traveling alone to these resorts in Mexico, meeting travel agents over there that are showing the property to potential, customers. That's, you never know. You guys are in a resort style place, right, working. Make sure they're dressed appropriately, that they're there for work. It's just the extent of the knowledge that you need to have is.
In the hospitality industry, is there any extra requirements how they're supposed to dress or behalf of the client or your employee?
I think the main thing in hospitality, from my experience, is to make hospitality is about service, right? Mm-hmm. It's as much as making it about the guests and as least about you as possible. So I think that's why a lot of hotels and hospitality companies have uniforms. When you go to Disney, everyone has a uniform, because it shouldn't be about what that person's wearing or what they want to wear to work that day. Everything is always 100% about the
Do you think
guest.
they have to cover up a little more since they're actually going towards the service? Because there's also frontline harassment where, we're providing a service. As you've heard before, I'm sure everybody heard John Travolta case where the person's providing a massage. Somebody gets a little confused. Is there situations that, in hospitality, do they think there's any other extra measurements or something that they have to cover up more? I know
there's a strict dress code in hospitality, just based on the chemicals that you're touching, the food that you're touching, and it's all to serve. Mm-hmm. So definitely, I think it's a different level of, and it's uniform. Most of it is uniform.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.